Ross Garcia.
Welcome to round 14 of Beat the Buckle, the horror movie battle royale podcast that puts two movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where the loser will remain in the ring another week, and we will be forced to watch it repeatedly until there is one movie left standing in an effort to determine the worst horror movie ever made. This week, in the second matchup of a special Christmas season showdown, we have 1997's Jack Frost versus 1980's Christmas Evil. With me, as always, are my two co-hosts who are definitely not on the naughty list. Gentlemen, week 2 of the horror days. Happy horror days.
Happy horror days to you, both of you.
Happy horror Honda days to you too, Jared and Josh.
I'm enjoying this. I feel like we'll get there, but one of these movies has finally put me in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
I actually feel like Stockholm Syndrome kicked in this week. Even though I waited literally until the last minute to watch Jack Frost this week. We do our production meeting normally around 6:15, and the movie ended at 5:55. So I got it just in.
You're basking in the afterglow.
I am browbeat into submission, and I actually do like parts of that movie very much.
Oh no.
It is odd how I think more often than not, the second viewing of a movie is the one where you kind of have a little bit more forgiveness or, gunpoint enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
You can both speak for yourselves on that.
I'm not saying that's my particular experience this week. I'm just saying, like, I feel like in the examples that we have with like Cheerleader Camp or Madman or Vampire Happening, like I feel like the second one is where you're a little bit more opened eyes, open hearts and minds to it.
Yeah, we the three of us have never been film students, but I do feel like in week 2, that's where you really are like, all right, let's dig into this. Let's find something to hang our hat on, because usually that first pass, just like, making a decision, just go with your gut and your instincts and know that you're watching a shit ass movie, and that's fine because the world needs shit ass movies.
and we need them for content.
Sure.
Keep
the almighty content.
Yeah, we got to earn those bucks, baby. Those horror bucks. Those podcast bucks.
Those boo bucks.
Boo bucks.
Okay.
Do you guys just, because we watch so much bullshit and we'll probably never get around to it, but like, do you have a favorite Christmas horror movie? Or like, top 3 or something, because I know mine. And I'm wondering if, we would ever cover them if we keep doing these Christmas seasons.
Yeah, I'd say top 3. I mean, Black Christmas and Krampus are definitely both on the top 3. I'd probably have to fish around in my head for a while to choose the third one.
I know we had the big joke about Die Hard last week. Is Scrooged a Christmas horror movie?
I think it's fringe. No. Okay, Josh says no. I think it's fringe horror. I mean, it has elements of it for sure.
I mean, do you consider A Christmas Carol a horror movie?
I was going to say, I think A Christmas Carol is
an
OG Christmas horror story.
Gothic
I think
horror.
It's supernatural, but it's definitely more of just a I don't know. See, okay, this is actually a good thing to bring up because I was kind of feeling this way watching Christmas Evil. So before we actually get into that, without already getting into it, like I was like,
yeah, a preamble.
Is this really a horror film we're watching? Because it kind of was and it kind of wasn't.
If this is a horror film, then Silence of the Lambs is a horror film. And I would even say, something like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, I guess, is a horror movie.
Yeah. and I actually have a note I would talk about that. So we'll get to that. But yeah, I think, I think Dickens, when I was a kid, there was a version. I don't know which version it was, but I feel like they played it in elementary school all the time. And there was a depiction. It was a live action one. It might have been the George C. Scott one or something, but there was a depiction of the um, Jacob Marley ghost when he like first appears and takes his uh, the wrap around his face off and his jaw just like drops down.
Yeah.
That scared the shit out of me as a kid, and thinking about it now, still I'm like, ugh.
That was a cool. I remember that very
Yeah,
vividly.
so,
It was a cool scene.
yeah.
So
Do you know which version that was?
I don't.
Mm.
I've never seen the George C. Scott one actually. And I've also talking about, time for real movies. I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh God, I
And
watched it.
I've never it's always been like, especially in streaming, in the watch list for like the last
Yeah.
8 years, and I've never clicked it.
I enjoy it.
If I
It's definitely not a horror movie.
Yeah, if I was gonna say horror movies, or Christmas horror movies that I get around to, obviously Black Christmas.
I think Black Christmas is the A number
It's
one.
a number one. Yeah, Scrooged, eh, and yeah, I think that's really it. Krampus too. I do
Yeah.
own that.
And see, I
Well,
feel like if Scrooge belongs on anything, it's going to be a Christmas comedy list because it's definitely more funny than it is scary.
Just like Jack Frost.
yeah. A perfect horror comedy.
False.
A perfect Christmas horror comedy.
Outrageous and thoughtful. I mean, maybe that is that is Scrooged. It's a horror comedy that is thoughtful and outrageous, just like Jack Frost. That should be the little byline.
Yeah.
I was actually going to suggest that neither of you discuss how outrageous or funny this movie was this time around,
It
or
won't be
thoughtful.
mentioned. It won't be mentioned. We'll think of other superlatives to give it.
Um, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I mean,
I love it. I was
it's
gonna
so
say my
good.
my top three are Black Christmas, Krampus, and Silent Night, Deadly Night. Which
Two. I like part two
no.
because you get the 2-for-1
It's yeah,
experience.
yeah, that's true.
Oh no, Gremlins. I always forget Gremlins.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say actually
Shame on
my
us.
my number one is Gremlins.
There you go.
Number two, Black Christmas, and then everything else is number three.
Okay,
There you go.
that's fair.
The director of Black Christmas, Bob Clark, did a movie. It was I think it predated Black Christmas. I could be wrong, and forgive me for not knowing this, but and I don't even know the name of it. But it was a horror movie where um a kid comes back from the war, and he's I think it's Vietnam, and he's all messed up, and it's kind of like the story from Pet Cemetery where the guy comes back and dead, and they bury him in the pet cemetery, and he comes back to life, like that little short story in Pet Cemetery. It's like that, but it's directed by Bob Clark, and it's actually really fucking cool. Like he's a very good horror director, and then he went on to do A Christmas Story and Porky's and a bunch of weird stuff. Actually, oh God, I wish we were. This is too much in the weeds. I wish we were doing Black Christmas because there's a weird thing, a weird obsession that I discovered this last year that Bob Clark has with piggies. Because if you watch Black Christmas, there's the part where, they're getting all the obscene phone calls, and he's like, I'm gonna eat your, sorry for saying the C word, ladies. I'm gonna eat your piggy cunt. I'm gonna eat your piggy, and he keeps calling them piggies. And
Yeah.
then he also did Black Christmas Story, and there's the scene where they're at the table, and the mom's like, "Show me how the piggies eat. Show me how the piggies eat." And he's like scarfing down,
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was something that I made the connection with this in this other horror movie that I'm talking about that also had like some mention of like piggies or something. But I was watching that. I
Wow.
was like, holy shit, this guy. And then Porky's. He made Porky's,
Yeah.
which what are piggies if not little Porky Pig? I don't know, man. Something to look into with this. But we're not here
Stay tuned
discussing
for our
that.
Patreon exclusive Bob Clark Mini
The
tournament.
Bob Clark Piggies conspiracy. I think it means he was a big Charles Manson fan. That's
Sure.
what it was.
Sure.
That must be it.
I'm sorry for that digression.
It's all right.
This
If it,
this
anything to keep us talking about Jack Frost.
Hmm.
this whole podcast is very much just a cul-de-sac of, oh hey, by the way.
Yeah, it is just becoming a stream of conscious. I didn't have a lot of time to like gather my thoughts this record, so I'm going to be a little scattered. I apologize for that off the top rope.
Um, I would like to have a Sandy Duncan Doe corner.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
well,
Okay.
I think
Y'all
we
know
have
it was
to.
coming, and I did briefly apologize for it last episode, but I would like to once again go on record to the Foreman family and let them know that I did not wish any harm or ill will or health towards George Sr.
Oh, yeah, they didn't take it that way.
Okay, good,
I
good.
talked to them. They're cool
Okay.
with it, man.
Yeah.
They
All
knew
right, good,
they
good.
knew that, it's a comedy at heart
I,
podcast. And
I was hoping he would find the humor in it, but I was serious about the boxing match, George. So
yeah, I was gonna say he said no hard feelings, but he is going to fuck you up. But I still think you got to reach.
Yeah.
You could get him.
his ass is mine.
Any other things up top before we get into this?
No, I can't think of any other Sandy Duncan Does to bring to the meeting this week.
I was going to do one about apologizing to the listeners for my perceived hatred of children.
You don't have to apologize for that. No
but-
one actually likes kids.
But watching one of the movies today, it kind of resurfaced. So I realized I'm going to have to put that one off for another episode.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for my character assassination of myself.
It just reignited the flames that burn bright
Yes.
deep
Don't
inside your
just
gut.
don't deny it. It's
Embrace
fine.
it. Even people with kids don't like kids. It's fine. I was gonna never mind. Well, you know what? I'll save it. I'll save it for next week.
Diversion, a podcast.
I just really don't want to talk about Jack Frost again, but
Well, not in this segment. We don't
oh,
have
yeah.
to worry about it.
So first movie in the ring is Christmas Evil. Released on November 7th, 1980. Interestingly enough, the only thing I could find is that it was only released in the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Was its only theatrical release.
Hey.
Go
This was
figure.
written and directed by Lewis Jackson, starring Brandon Maggart, the great Jeffrey DeMunn. Who did you recognize him?
Right off the bat, yes.
The guy that plays the brother.
Like I did the point and everything. I was like, holy shit, it's Dale.
That guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Who?
It's Jeffrey DeMunn. He was in the early he was in a lot of
Frank
Darabont. He was in
yeah.
The Mist, The Green Mile, The Walking Dead, Shawshank.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like the pointy nose. Like that's how I reckoned. I was like, holy shit, that's anyway.
He was once young. Who
Yeah.
knew?
Okay. Yeah.
He's
Doing push-ups and everything.
He's so good, and even in this, like I was like, wow, that guy's actually probably better than this source material. I was like, oh, it's Jeffrey DeMunn. Great. Yeah, he's fucking awesome. Diane Hall, Andy Fenwick. This had a budget of $850,000. I could not get a box office on it.
You couldn't figure out how many people saw it in Pittsburgh?
I bet George Romero was there.
Yeah.
That's really perfect, though. I can't imagine a more Pittsburgh Christmas
Right.
movie than
I
this.
mean, back in the day too, because Pittsburgh of the late 70s, mid 70s, 80s is Deer Hunter. And
Yeah.
I even thought, I was like, this is Deer Hunter, A Christmas Tale, because it looks so much like that movie. And
Yeah.
even though it's filmed in Jersey, I'm like, now that you're telling me it premiered in Pittsburgh, I was like, that really tracks with all the soot and everything else that was probably on the billboard.
I did look for like reasons why it was only released in Pittsburgh. If I was like, well, maybe like Romero really pushed production on this or something, but no, I couldn't find anything. But did you guys? There's an uncut version that's an hour 40 minutes, and a cut version that's 92 minutes. Do you know which one you guys watched?
I watched whichever one to be brought up.
Yeah, I watched through Plex and with commercials, and
Yeah, I,
some of the stuff that I saw, like apparently you see Harry get a promotion in the director's cut. I didn't see that.
okay, I didn't. Yeah, I watched Tubi as well, and it was the 92-minute version. So I was curious as to what the uncut version might have brought, but I guess we'll never know.
Probably no more clarity into what this is supposed to be about.
Less.
Wait,
Oh, I thought you meant like pixelated clarity. 'Cause-
No.
it already has pacing issues, and you're telling me there's an extra 20-minute cut out there? I don't need that in my life.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we watch it again, I'm going to search out the uncut version. This movie is about a man who gets traumatized by discovering the truth about Santa at an early age and grows up to become obsessed with becoming Santa and making sure that good children get presents while naughty kids get punished. Was it did it inexplicably include? God damn it. Guys, it's been a long day. I can't even read my notes.
It's not even in Finnish, and you're having trouble.
Was it inexplicably included in the infamous video nasty list? Yep. Will it eat the buckle? Maybe. Let's find out. Gentlemen, what did you think of Christmas Evil off the top rope? Whoever wants to go first, jump in there and throw some haymakers.
I'm just gonna say I think whoever made the Joker movie, what's his name? Todd Gaines? Is that
Todd
it?
Phillips.
Phillips.
Todd Phillips.
He owes the writer and director of this movie a whole lot of money.
Oh yeah, because when you even said or asked earlier about what is constitute a horror movie, I wanted to be like, instead of saying Henry, I wanted to say Joker, even though I've never seen it. But I imagine yes, it did this. I mean, it's really Taxi Driver, but still, it's the fact that you're just like.
That was my note too. I was like, so this is Taxi Driver, but like Santa's sleigh driver.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it doesn't do nearly as good a job as making this cousin Larry Appleton look alike. Like the beauty of Taxi Driver is it kind of humanizes Robert De Niro despite him being a psychopath, and this movie just makes this guy look like a fucking psychopath.
Well, yeah, I don't think Lewis Jackson did as good a job as Scorsese with the the seediness and the.
He certainly tried.
Yeah.
Let's start with, so explain to me again why this kid grew up to be so fucked up, because he saw his dad having sex with his mom dressed as Santa Claus.
No,
Santa,
not even that.
Santa muff diving mommy underneath the mistletoe.
Not even that. I mean, that's what was implied, but it was really just Santa staring at, I'm sure, because it opens in 1945, I think, and I looked up what you called women's underwear in 1945, and they were called step-ins. So it was just Santa getting a real close-up look at this woman's step-ins. And I don't want to be gross and saying like sniffing them, but that's what it looked like he was doing.
He's getting a nose full of knickers.
He was up in her business.
Yeah, just very,
Now it makes sense why there was a bowl of water and soap left out for Santa Claus.
And delicious white bread and milk.
Well, it was post-war scarcity, maybe.
45, yeah. I mean, Santa took what he could get, man.
That made me want to vomit in my mouth.
So after he sees that muff dive by Santa Claus, he goes up to the attic and then smashes the snow globe and cuts himself.
Yeah, and that's
why?
Because he
was he having impure thoughts?
He was emo. He was the first emo kid.
But okay, so he grows up and dresses like Santa, which means he's come to terms with the fact that Santa isn't real and wasn't staring at his mom's knickers. It was just his father. So
Yeah,
where's the trauma at in
I
all
think
this?
exactly. Well, it's very low stakes trauma. I think his
Well,
trauma was discovering that Santa isn't real, and like, oh God, I could mention somebody, but I'm not. And then being like, really fucked me up when I found out Santa wasn't. But like, it for some reason that realization that life changing moment of Santa not being real, I think that's what spurred him to be, I will become Santa and be a real Santa to these children.
I
I'm
thought
not.
maybe it was that he wanted to get into the ladies' Ed Wood collection of lingerie like his mom had on. That he aspired. Now you guys keep saying he looked at the underwear. He was going to town on
No,
mom. Yes, he
no.
was.
Then
Yes.
maybe you got the uncut version.
I mean, no, like he was definitely nose deep.
It,
Not what I saw.
Oh,
I think what was implied is that he was supposed to be filleting her, but
Yeah,
what we saw was just his with a face full of her bloomers.
her
and any
Stephens.
not
Her Stephens.
to do a
Y'all getting your old ladies some step-ins in their
I was
stockings?
so gonna
Oh,
This year?
start calling them Steppins.
step-ins.
I got the old
Steppins
lady
wolf.
some sexy Steppins.
Yeah. Did in anyone's research on this movie
Nope.
about Lewis Jackson hear that he directed porn and
Okay.
this?
No.
I saw that one place. I want to say it was on the Joe Bob Briggs website. So whoever wrote the summary from that episode had a note on
Mhm.
there, and I'm not going to say like I couldn't find it anywhere else, so I don't believe that. But I didn't. That was the only place I saw that, and kind of like seeing that movie start like that, I was like, maybe,
I can't
probably.
believe you. Look, I don't want to dwell on it. I don't want to belabor the point, but I, I, I can't believe you saw a version where it looked like he was actually like
Like
like yeah,
obviously it wasn't hardcore,
right. But
but
what I saw was clearly not. Anyway,
it
it's
was
not.
the movement of the head.
No, I didn't even see that. That's
Oh,
crazy.
well, you must have ran upstairs, smashed a snow globe, and cut your hand and
Yeah.
buried it deep.
I was too red with rage that Santa was not real. Not that he was stooping my mom, but that he just wasn't real.
Can we? I also just want to bring up that if they had a low enough budget to only afford bread and milk for Santa, but somehow they had a mechanism that was able to shoot him back up the chimney.
Oh, that was all upper arm strength from the war.
Is that what that was?
I guess I had
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't.
Accompanied with like a little sound that's like whoop.
Yeah. Every time I see that, like someone fucking around in the chimney, I have the Phoebe Cates Gremlins worry.
Yeah.
Like I have flashbacks from seeing that movie as a kid and having that burned into my brain that I'm like, don't. I was like, Dad's gonna die, and that's why. Having seen this movie, even though I knew that wasn't gonna happen, I was like, the dad's gonna die in the chimney, and that's why he goes on a rage kill spree as Santa. But
That
nope.
would be a much better story.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a much better. I was into this at first, and so I guess we should give a little bit more of the plot.
Besides
Unfolded
the first scene.
unfolded a little more is that
Sorry.
so this guy no so
Yes.
this guy grows up and he starts kind of like spying on the kids in the town and really creepy stuff like with
Oh, yeah.
like binoculars like looking in their windows and being like, oh, she's playing with her dolly, she's a good girl, and has like a list of the good kids and the bad kids. He sees one kid looking at a hustler and puts him on a list, so he's
Not my boy Moss Garcia.
Moss.
Look,
And
I
that's-
have a
That's
note
an
here.
MVP
Yeah.
I have a note here.
of the movie.
Mhm.
Steals the fucking show is Moss Garcia.
Mhm.
Moss Garcia is a little shit. Is my
He-
note?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
But
Is
I-
it a child? Yes.
Yes.
Little shit.
Obviously.
Of course.
But I didn't mean it in that way. I was
Yes,
like,
you
man,
did.
I was like, man, this kid's a little shit.
He
Look,
is.
he pulls
He's on the
Sally's
naughty
hair.
list.
He picks his
He
nose.
picks his
He
nose.
crosses against the light.
Is
Who?
picking your nose enough to get on the naughty list?
Yes.
As a kid, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Cutting out paper dolls with your dad's, supposedly your dad's, maybe they found it in the woods, penthouse, is definitely grounds for the
That
naughty
is
list.
for I would agree with that with this Santa. But yeah, so anyway, so he's essentially just like, I'm going to be Santa Claus. I'm going to spy on these kids. I'm going to determine who's naughty and nice. And his plan was to just steal their toys so they didn't get toys. But and that I thought the movie was going to be like, oh, he's going to fucking kill these naughty kids or do something
Yeah.
like crazy to them. But then it's something that a Tim Allen 1990s vehicle would have been. And then it gets a little darker from there. And he starts killing people, and too little too late, I thought, for when it starts to happen and when what becomes of it. But now we can get into the details of it.
Yeah, the whole thing with the whole thing with Moss. Most of my notes are about Moss because
he gets hit for real.
He gets hit for real. And we already talked about Jeffrey DeMunn. You know who hits Moss Garcia?
No.
It's Patricia Richardson, the mom from Home Improvement.
Oh, no shit.
It's her first movie, and she slaps the taste out of Garcia's face.
Wow, Tim Allen. What an apropos Tim Allen call. But yeah, that's she also agrees with Josh that Moss was a little shit because she fucking hit him for real.
Yeah.
I bet that wasn't a pulled hit on
No.
set either.
No, there was contact, man.
She hauled off
That
and
was-
decked that kid.
That was take 45 of him being a little shit, disrupting the takes, and she
Wow.
took it.
Yeah. Maybe he's method, and he was like, hit me for real.
He's like chain smoking right off camera.
Did you also see Hector Salamanca?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this
From
movie,
Breaking Bad.
yeah, this movie is completely filled with, oh, hey, it's that person. Oh, it's
Yeah.
that guy.
I had so when he's gets off, when I don't know anyone's names, when the guy who becomes Santa, Harry, when he like gets off he works at a toy factory, of course. When he gets off his shift and he's like walking by the bar, and he walks by somebody's house and looks in and sees them having sex and like flashes back to seeing what happened.
He went to it and watched his own brother have sex with his.
That was okay. So that was his brother. I was like,
Yeah,
who are these people?
Yeah.
That's
Which
fucking
I always
weird.
was like, you got Jeffrey DeMunn, and the only thing he's in here for is to have sex with this woman.
Yeah,
Because then, like, you don't see, like, they drop out of the movie for a solid 20,
they do.
25
That's why.
minutes.
Yeah,
Long enough that when he reappeared, I forgot.
that's what I'm
what
saying.
his
Like,
character was.
yeah, that's why I was like, I couldn't make the connection of, was that him in the beginning that he saw having sex, or was he just watching? It's creepier that it's his brother that he's watching.
As
Yeah.
Aaron mentioned earlier, I did appreciate him doing calisthenics and push-ups pre-sex.
Yeah. All right. So now that we brought up the calisthenics again, why does Jackie, his wife, come out of the bathroom, go to the dresser, get her, what are we calling them? Step-ins?
Step-ins, yes. Thank you.
Putting her panties on
Step-ins.
Step-ins, and then turning back to him as he's finishing up his push-ups and shows off her muff. I know I'm using muff because I'm trying to keep it PG for the holiday spirit.
Muff.
But you see, like, you see a beaver shot. How's that? Is that even better?
She shows
No.
off the fruitcake.
She's showing the fruitcake off.
And all this.
Why? Just like in Jack Frost. Why are you drying your hair and then getting into the tub? Why are you putting your step-ins on before sexy time?
Maybe he likes them.
Maybe
And then he goes and does the same thing his dad did.
that's
goes
what I'm
up
saying.
And
He
gets face planted.
He's
What
into
was
it. He's into it because of what he saw when he was a kid. That's
now?
he's like,
Did Philip see the muff dive?
yeah, they were all three sitting on the stairs, and yeah, they all
No,
three saw.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
No, I thought Harry went back by
The-
himself, and
Harry
then
goes back by himself and
yeah.
sees the muff dive.
oh, apologies.
He sees the fruitcake flip. Jesus.
What?
Oh, what
Uh,
about after he does go to the bar after I think before he watches his brother have sex and his coworker Frank has asked him to cover his shift and they're all joking around like, "Oh, what a dipshit Harry is. I
Mhm.
told him I was covering. Ha ha ha." He goes back and he chokes his chicken doll.
Oh,
How's that for a
Mhm.
pun?
I like that.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great.
Chicken doll.
Chick. And
Choking his chicken doll.
Chicken.
In his dollhouse, which we didn't even talk about how fucked up his house was.
his house was creepy as fuck. That's what like the first like there's a lot of good stuff that I thought there, to like about so I made the mention of this I fumbled it verbally that this was on the video nasty list, but why?
I think all these step-in fruitcakes.
I knew like before watching this that it was on the video nasty list, and like and it was pretty sufficiently creepy, like with mounting amounts of like, man, this guy's fucked up. Like I can't wait to see what he does when he starts killing people. Like this is gonna be insane
Yeah.
for this to be banned in the UK.
I think it was all because it had Santa in it. Like when he,
Yeah.
because I made the note. I got to 40 minutes again, and no one had died. So
Yeah.
I was like,
But-
I was like, the back half of this must be why it got
And
canceled.
then the first kill happens when the his coworkers are coming out of the church service, and
Yeah.
he's been scorned by them, and that first kill scene was pretty cool, like
Yeah.
driving that toy soldier through the guy's eyeball and then slicing
Where
their
did he
heads with
get that toy soldier?
He made it in his smelting kitchen.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, he had a whole toy shop in his garage
Yeah.
that included a blacksmithing where he made a solid brass or solid silver
I think it was
snowman.
silver. It looked
Yeah.
silver. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I must have been grabbing another drink or something. 'Cause I missed that.
And when that happened, I was like, shit, we are off to the races. This is going to be insane. And then
Yeah.
it just goes back to nothing for a
Um,
long while.
did you guys ever have a Christmas party as rockin' as the one that Harry's company had? I mean, there were people like flat out drunk. There
Yeah.
was the director was the caterer bartender that you saw his hands shaking all over the glasses trying to make. And I was like, I looked at my wife. I was like, man, I never had a work party like this at holidays.
The DJ was just that random dude sitting by the small table with the record player and the stack of 45s. He's just like shuffling through the 45s.
Yeah, that looked like an awesome Christmas party. And
Yeah.
that's when I was watching. I was like, I'm in the Christmas spirit now. Like Jack Frost was, and Rare Exports we're fine, but like nothing actually got me like, all right, I'm ready for Christmas. But seeing those Christmas parties, seeing, the church service and all the other shit is like, all right, this is
Anytime-
a Christmas movie.
Anytime there's a scene inside someone's home, it looked really cozy. There's like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
way that they like the gauze of the film and just
Yeah.
the way that the lights look like it looks very very nostalgic and very
It looks-
Christmassy. I did
It looks like
that.
a Christmas story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way the movie looked.
Yeah. Well, we'll finish this one up in a minute. We're going to take a quick break and gather our thoughts, and we'll come back to wrap it up.
Gotta go change my step-ins.
oh boy.
I found him. I can play the tune.
I'll tell you, Harry. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I actually just have one more note that I wanted to see if you guys noticed.
Okay.
So I'll get that out of the way, and then you guys can chat about if you had more stuff to talk about. But did you notice this kind of actually goes to a point of Jack Frost, and it's piss poor production. But did you notice in the end of the movie when Harry goes to his brother, I think Philip's house
Yeah.
at the very end, because there's like all over the news, it's like, watch out, there's a guy in a Santa suit, and Philip kind of knows, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's my brother. It's my
Yeah.
brother. I know he's fucked up and he's doing all this shit. But like Philip goes to his house to be there for Christmas, and uh anyway, when Harry's chasing Philip and like almost hits somebody, like Philip like jumps off the side of the road and like slides down a hill. Did you notice the snow?
How can you, the quote unquote snow that bounces off the plywood underneath the giant white felt?
It gets stuck to his foot and he drags it with him like a fucking like spider, like one of
Yeah.
those,
Toilet paper.
like, yeah, like a Halloween decoration spider web just gets like stuck to his leg and he pulls it down the hill with
Yeah.
Oh, that made me laugh.
I saw that and I was like, man, it's like kismet to have two movies with the same shitty problem.
Well, different versions of the shitty problem, because Jack Frost easily could have just, instead of not having any attempt to make snow, they could have done
There's
done what Christmas Evil did, but made
So-
sure to at least take a second take.
so the only
If you see an actor taking half the scenery down the fucking hill.
that might have been the best take they had.
Lewis Jackson just
Yeah.
said, fuck it, print it. Nobody will
Or-
care.
Or someone got hurt for real. It's like, nope.
Which does, to the point that we were making before the break, at that end where it seems kind of like, and again, I don't want to spoil the absolute end of this movie, because if you have never seen this,
Yeah, let's not
you
say
have to witness it on your own.
yeah.
So I say right now, I am bringing to the table, let's not talk about the end of the movie. End of the movie.
Not the very final,
Not
like,
the
10
not
seconds.
the last
Okay.
the last 90 seconds of the movie.
That's
But
fair.
we were talking about how it made you feel like Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And you go to that scene where he's got the kid the kid toucher minivan, or excuse me, Econoline van,
Yeah.
all dressed up like a sleigh.
Yeah, he's got a Santa sleigh painted on
Mind
the
you,
side.
mind you, at this point in the movie, this is where I'm like, is this real at this point? Because how are the police not capturing a giant kid toucher van? The official term is panel van, dressed up like a fucking Santa's red sleigh, and it's a
Yeah.
giant silver panel van that he gets stuck in the snow, spins out, and he looks to his left and he sees like a bizarro world where every plastic blown Christmas lawn ornament is
There's
lining
one-
the street.
And they're all snowmen. There's like 1,000 snow. There's like Snowminton.
There's 1,000 snowmen. There's 1,000 Rudolphs. There's 1,000 Santas. That
got me
he
into
just goes up
Christmas
that
spirit.
hill, and suddenly he's like in downtown. Like he goes from the suburbs
He's
to
in like
downtown.
Skid Row.
Yeah, 2 blocks over from this picturesque scene on this kind of almost like a cul-de-sac. It's like, wow, this to Jared's point earlier, this really got my wife and I in the Christmas mood without any fruitcakes involved. To be like, yes, finally it does feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
In the middle of this movie about a serial killer walking up a hill lined with those shitty plastic lawn ornaments that you would get at like Ace Hardware when we were
Yeah.
growing up.
Those blow molds, they're
And-
called.
And this movie really does turn into like almost like a fever dream at some point. Like And the worst part about it is towards the end of it is where I feel like the directors are really trying to push you to like root for this guy, but there's nothing likable about him. He's a piece of shit. He's a nerd. I mean, the whole reason he's turned crazy anyway is the lamest fucking reason I've ever heard of.
Really fucked me up, man.
And and then like there's the scene where he's like holding the group of children around him with the parents are approaching him and it's like this guy's really making a stand. You know, like that's like the feeling that you get from the scene.
I actually no,
when-
I didn't get that. I kind of had tension of like, is he gonna? I was hoping he was, for your sake, Josh. I was hoping he was gonna kill some of those kids.
No, because at that
Get
point he's
real
already
dark.
gone and like danced
Yeah.
with them and done all this other. It was like, no,
Well,
this guy is like they're trying to present him as like he's wholesome and he really does love the children and just hates all the evil, nasty parents in the world. Um, it I don't know. It just nothing nothing works about this movie.
I
Yeah.
loved seeing the guy from Slapshot pull out his butterfly knife.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It's just a switchblade, which is almost like 2 feet long. It's as and then
Yeah.
like is gonna stab Santa Claus in front of the kids. I was like, wow, this is really going for it. To use that taxi driver analogy from earlier, I feel like you kind of do have more of a compassion for Harry than you do Travis Bickle.
I did have some compassion for Harry.
Oh no, I wanted to see him dead.
I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
They-
he
they
does
have-
horrible things.
yeah, they have the whole analogy with I know my song or I don't know my song, but I know the words or vice versa.
Yeah.
That it goes throughout the movie. And you know, he finally is like, I know the words and you're not involved and all that like cryptic shit that he starts to do.
Mhm.
That's the only part where he takes it out on like the proto Reagan young exec that shows up that I actually thought was Jeffrey Dunn for a sec. My wife
I did too. Yeah, I
I
got
think
really
everybody
confused.
watches that.
There are a lot of people that looked like him.
Yeah, they're like, is that the same guy? And it's like,
Mhm.
no, that's not his brother. But there's that rat-faced wormy guy that you're like, yeah, I want to see him die because he's doesn't understand. Like he basically lays it out. I don't care about these kids in this hospital. If I don't know if they're all going to get a Christmas gift, yada yada yada. That Harry goes out of his way to make sure all the kids, which
Yeah.
of course I looked at my wife and I said, you know, those nurses and doctors are going to skim off the top, take the good
Yeah.
ones home to their kids, and then give the kids in the hospital whatever's left.
Hold up.
But okay,
There are no good ones. Did you see those piece of shit toys that they made at that factory? It was the same like red plastic toy
Well-
soldier with blue sword.
Well, no, but he was stealing kids' toys from the naughty kids to take. That was his plan, was to steal shit from the naughty kids.
No, he
to
went.
take to the hospital.
I thought he went to Jolly Time or Jolly World.
Well, he did that. He did that too, but he was also like he went to Moss's house and took his toys, and like it showed him taking toys from the naughty kids to take to that hospital as well.
I don't know on that one.
That's what I got from it.
I'm gonna.
So
Step
what
out
was
on
he
my
doing?
step-
What was he doing when he broke into the people's houses then?
I thought
well,
he was just
he was
murdering
giving
their parents.
like
No.
he goes to Frank's house.
Yeah.
He puts toys down for his kids, and then goes and slaughters their dad.
Oh.
I don't know. I think he was he
When-
was taking toys as well.
When he
From the
was on
back.
his way to Frank's house and he's driving in the van and he's doing the on Donner on Dasher
Yeah,
and then he just starts growling like a dog and he's going "Arr, arr."
Last note I have on this, I swear to God, we got to move on.
okay.
It bothered me to no end that this man spent his entire life from 8 years old, whatever childhood, to whatever 30, 35, 40, 70, who knows? It's
30.
80.
30
Yeah.
years,
He
less than 30 years.
spent that entire time trying to perfect and become Santa Claus, and yet he didn't once say ho ho ho. He did like, he looked in the mirror with his belly jiggling laughing, he just goes ha 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 ha. He didn't say ho ho ho.
He
That's
didn't
what
have-
Santa says.
He didn't have his song yet. He had to get that murderous
You know what?
intent.
Just took me out of the Christmas spirit.
Oh. Well, you know what will get you into the Christmas spirit?
What's that?
A game.
Yes.
A
That
game, you say?
Yes. And since the last 13 weeks have been all your games, I thought it would be a holiday treat for me to come up with a game that if I can figure out how to share my screen, we will play. Uh-oh.
Oh,
All right.
God. Hey!
Is that it?
my.
I can't wait to play a game. I'm seeing a snowman. This looks like a...
Oh, yeah. This is a pulp Italian cover of a snowman stabbing a woman to death as she's laid out, unfortunately, towards you, the viewer, with her stockings covered in blood.
I
And
can almost see her step-ins.
all right. But anyway,
I think I do see the business end of those step-ins.
yeah. All right. Let me try to get this up because we are going to play.
I can't wait to see what happens here.
All right. We're going to play everyone's favorite game, Ghoul Who, aka Guess Boo.
Yes!
Obviously, this is a take on the old chestnut Guess Who.
Oh my God, I'm so happy right now.
Okay. Strap in. Now, unfortunately, you, the listener,
Step
are
in.
not going to be able to enjoy the visual treat, but this will transfer enough over from the description.
We'll put them on. We'll put them up on one of our
many social media accounts.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's how the game is going to be played. Everyone's going to take turns as I show you one photo of a character from a Star Trek series that may or may not be Scott McDonald. The players will answer yes or no if the image presented is Scott McDonald. Correct answers are going to be worth 1 point. And then as a Eat the Buckle tradition, the final round will have a chance to earn 3 points for each one. Okay.
Okay. We take turns.
Yeah.
We say whether or not it's Scott McDonald who plays Jack Frost.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So, Jared, I'm not going to keep record. So someone else keeps score. Do you actually write down?
Well, you fucking right, I do. You think I lollygag on these games?
Oh, no.
I got it. I'll
Now,
keep track. I'll keep track.
Oh, here we go. Here's a pin.
I hate you so much.
What you hate, Josh, are my production values.
Yeah, I admire this. I don't. I gotta set my game up.
All right. So now, because my mother once called him my best friend Jared, Jared will be going first.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
only fair.
She did it by accident, but it's fine. Here we go.
Because we're not even barely friends. We just do this for the money.
Round one, Jared. Is that or is it not Scott McDonald?
I'm looking for like the cleft lip, which looks like it could be. I'm going to say yes.
Your answer is yes?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. Let's find out.
What is this, a Ferengi? Yes!
Yes, it is beloved actor Scott McDonald.
What alien life form is this?
This is Scott McDonald in Deep Space Nine as Tosk.
Okay. Yeah, I
That's-
can't wait
That's
to
it.
put these on our Instagram to get taken down 5 minutes later.
I really hated that episode.
All right. Josh remembers that episode. I feel like it was season 1, but I could be wrong.
We're looking at a turtle man, a lizard fellow.
Yeah, he's kind of looks like a giant iguana.
Yeah.
I guess.
We got to
Okay.
say these things for the listeners.
Sure. All right,
I'll
Josh.
I'll show you the ropes of how these games are played.
Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Round 1. Josh.
How many rounds are there?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus
Oh,
God, that looks
okay.
like
All right. Now, this guy,
that's really from a Star Trek.
this is from
episode?
Star Trek. And the best way I can describe it is his head is made up of many dicks, including one that is very prominent, starting at the forehead, going all the way up and above his head by about approximately 6 to 8 inches. And then he's got little wormy dicks in his hair dicks around the nose and nostrils, and his earlobes look like dicks.
He
Is this or is this not, Josh, Scott McDonald?
that is not Scott McDonald.
Josh is saying no, this is not Scott McDonald, correct?
Correct.
Oh no. Hold on.
Oh no, we need it. Oh,
Hold on. We have to find out. Let me
listeners, there was a little snafu. Oh,
Oh
Oh,
no.
no.
oh.
Okay.
He
So
looks
this-
like if you asked AI to make a bees honey beehive out of dicks, worms, and human face.
this would be it. All right. Josh said no. And I know how to do this. I click right here. No, this is not beloved actor Scott McDonald. All right.
But it was
After
beloved
one
actor.
round. Oh, I have no idea who this was. And I have no idea what the character's name is. I want to say it's a guy from Deep Space Nine.
Sure, let's go. So round one, I'm up, baby.
No, Josh and you are tied.
Oh, he said no. Okay.
Yes, he got it
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
That's how this works.
All right.
Trying to come in here and tell me how to run my game. All right, Jared, round two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a
We all know what this is. This is a Cardassian.
yeah, that's not him.
Not a Kardashian.
That's not Scott
Hold
McDonald.
on, wait. We have a fairly built, boxy looking dude. He's got what looks to be spines running up his forehead.
The derogatory term from the show was a spoonhead.
He was a spoon. I don't get
Ah,
spoon from that.
Fucking
'Cause
spoonhead.
he's got a spoon on his forehead.
He looks like if you asked AI to make a spoon out of dicks and worms and humans.
And sunken eyes.
All right,
That's not him. No,
Jared says that is not him.
no.
Let's find out.
I like that you threatened us with this game and then you brought it.
No, this is
Yeah!
not beloved actor Scott McDonald. So that's
Woo!
2 for Jared.
Wasn't
right.
there going to be some inclusion of how Scott Bakula smells with this game? I
mean-
believe that was bantied about.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
how are you going to incorporate
you said it. I don't know.
S who to how a man smells?
Anyway, go on.
Round 2, Josh.
All right.
Is this Star Trek character Scott McDonald?
We're looking at a lavishly dressed man with like a
All right.
turtleneck
Yeah,
made of
we're looking at a Romulan
metal.
from the Next Generation where they decided to put a big prosthetics on his forehead.
Mhm.
And then later on, they retcon that to say this is a Southern Romulan, and a Northern Romulan does not have the head ridges.
He almost looks like Timothy Oliphant in Vulcan makeup.
Yeah, he looks like if you asked AI to make Timothy Oliphant made out of dicks and worms and humans.
I'm gonna say that is beloved actor Scott McDonald.
Josh says in the affirmative, this is Scott McDonald. Let's find out. The mouse goes here.
Beloved actor.
Yes, this is beloved actor Scott McDonald. That's 2 for 2 all around.
Oh my God.
All right.
I need to find my charger for my computer. I should have done that during the break.
Round 3, Jared.
Uh,
Now you're seeing again from Deep Space Nine a Jim Hadar soldier.
Jim Hadar.
A Jim Hadar soldier that has what looks like teeth protrusions around the chin and neckline,
Hmm.
on his forehead, on his temple. He kind of looks like a de-eared gremlin to the listeners at home. And
I
it's-
bought a car from Jim Hadar Auto Sales once. Won't ever make that mistake again.
Jared, is
Yeah.
this beloved actor Scott McDonald?
He looks like if you asked AI to make a wad of Big League Chew made out of dicks and worms and humans. No, it's not.
All right. Jared is saying this is not beloved actor Scott McDonald. Let's see if it is or is not. Jared, this was
No!
beloved actor Scott McDonald, and you
Bullshit.
did not get a point in round 3. Let's see what Josh does, if he can take the lead. Oh no!
No. Again, we
Did you
moved
did you
ahead.
cut me out of the third round?
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh,
No.
apparently.
Best friend Jared.
Well, how about we can both weigh on this?
All right. No. Because there will be another one after this one.
What?
So I messed up round 3. I didn't give Josh. one.
Yeah, that's what. But this says fine. Okay, so he will
throw
be.
me under the bus again.
You always. It is tradition to
I
fuck you
know.
in these games.
I know for a fact Josh has a final round question. This is, listener, my fault that I messed up in round 3. So
we will be evened out. I won't have an advantage over Josh.
Well, Josh won't have an advantage over you.
But well, that.
All right. But yes, because
okay. But will I have an advantage?
Because as described earlier, this question is worth 3 points.
Sure. Okay. But all right.
As we're now in the final round.
All right. This man,
Jared.
Yes.
This is a character from the series Star Trek Enterprise.
My favorite.
Which did have Scott Bakula in it. He looks, again, more like a... he kind of looks like if you rip the ears off the smart gremlin from Gremlins 2 and then stuck like real wispy dreadlocks and wrapped him in copper wire. That's what this character looks like. Is this beloved actor Scott McDonald, Jared?
He looks like Jeepers Creepers.
He kind of does.
He looks like if you asked AI to make Scott McDonald made out of dicks and worms and Scott McDonald. And I'm going to say, I think we're tied 2-2. This is
yes, Jared, you are tied at 2-2. I, as your host, can give you that information.
Yes, it is Scott McDonald.
All right, let's find out. Yes, this is beloved actor Scott McDonald. That correct answer brings... How
many fucking Star Trek
brings your amount
loser
to 5.
I mean, I guess he's been in more Star Trek episodes than I have, so good for... I take that back. Not a loser.
Eat shit and live, Jared. All right, Josh, no pressure. But Jared is up 3 points right now that you can tie.
Funny how that happens.
Actually... do we want to go back to that other one and just say, hey, does anyone think this is Scott McDonald?
What other one?
Round 3 that I only had one person in 3 rounds. Okay. Well.
Wait. I don't know.
No. All right.
Not as easy as you think it is it?
Oh, no. Well, it would be Josh,
games.
Final round.
You motherfucker.
Is this beloved actor Scott McDonald, featured in the pilot episode of Voyager?
This guy looks like if AI would create a picture of Scott McDonald using dicks and Scott McDonald.
In a Star Trek uniform with
no
prosthetics.
Uniform.
He looks like if you asked AI to make Jack Frost made out of dicks.
It's Scott McDonald. Yes.
Yes.
This is beloved actor Scott McDonald.
Yes, this is beloved actor Scott McDonald.
A Christmas miracle.
It's finally happened in our second Christmas episode that there is no winner except you, the listener.
Wait, Josh didn't win?
No, we all tied.
Oh, good.
Well, the 2 of you tied. I didn't have anything to do with it.
You're in there too. We all.
Thanks for playing. As we see Scott McDonald getting ready to punch Scott Bakula in the face.
Okay, I promise listeners that we will release this somehow for you to play at home.
Yeah, look
By
for
the
the
time
home
this
version.
episode comes out.
We're gonna trademark it. We'll get Hasbro on it.
All right. Well, that was Goo Who.
Goo Who. Thank you.
Or
That was
AKA
awesome.
Guess Boo.
Guess Boo. Thank you. That was fantastic.
And I have to
for
say,
us at least.
My wife ran through that earlier, and she did not pick up on the fact that there was only one question in round 3. So that is an issue.
We
We're
need
gonna
to.
have a talk with her in the post-production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a talk with
Uh,
our quality control.
She might need to get her resume together.
Now, I am going to run through my slide and see if I had one and I skipped it on my transitions. But anyway, go on, because there's no need to stop
Well, that brings
the
us
podcast. For
no,
this.
let's not stop the podcast. You can't stop this train. Let's talk about Jack Frost 2. I mean, our second discussion of Jack Frost.
I was like, I just had a fluttering of my heart. Like, wait.
Nope, I only said that because it's in my notes. It says Jack Frost 2.
Okay.
So I will say, I realized watching this that this whole thing is just the story that the person tells in the beginning.
Yep.
Mhm.
It didn't actually, I mean, I know it didn't actually happen, but it didn't actually happen as far as movies go.
Oh,
The whole thing was just like, "That's a story." And then, he starts to tell it and then it goes into the movie. Right? You get what I'm saying?
I guess now we have this thing on as a running gag with the podcast.
It's like, think of
Is the intro really happening, or is it
I took it
just
as
table
like
setting?
I took it as like Princess Bride. Like the grandfather sits down to tell the kid the story in the bed, and then it goes into the Princess Bride. Where he's
yes,
just telling a story.
yes, but I kind of took it as Mr. Magoo was telling his bunny rabbit granddaughter a story of what actually happened, kind of like as if it was a ghost story or a story about Madman Mars. He was recounting.
Well, we may have a Madman Mars on our hands because I have a theory about Snowmanton
Don't you dare!
that I
A
would
theory.
like to. A theory.
So now, see, I stole your bit, and you're stealing my bit.
Well, I mean, yeah,
About theories.
It's just logical thinking of what's presented to me.
That's the holiday spirit that we can share.
Yeah, share and share alike.
Yes.
And I'll get there. But yeah, that was just my first note as I was watching. I was like, oh, this, because he starts with like the rhyming of like, and then he was slattered and battered and shattered, like all that shit. I'm like, oh, he's just telling like a nursery rhyme, and this is just the depiction of that.
Well, don't all legends come from some sort of truth?
Oh yeah. Look at you picking up from rare exports,
Yeah.
putting down.
I did like.
Oh, I'm sorry to
No.
completely derail the podcast here, but my Sandy Duncan dough just hit me.
Okay.
Time out for a Sandy Duncan dough.
Yeah. So when I said in the last episode that all Santa Claus history and lore is from Finland, that was a lie.
I think like historically inaccurate things don't have to be a Duncan dough. I think it could be more like Sandy Duncan's dead and has one eye or something. I think we could save it. But anyway, go ahead.
Someone did say, and they were Finnish, obviously, that Santa, like Saint Nicholas of Greece, was the original patron saint that everyone based the idea of Santa Claus off of, apparently. Mm-hmm. But then the Finns added like this whole thing based around the mountain that Santa Claus, their version of Santa Claus, came from there, which is reflected in the movie. And that there's a part of the mountain that is apparently in the shape of an ear, and that ear is the ear of Santa that can hear all your good or bad deeds.
That's
so
deep.
We're clearing that up, that it's not like Finns were the first ones to be like, you know what? Fucking A, let's have a Santa Claus.
The Finnish version of Santa also actually had horns, though.
Well, no, they had a goat. Santa Claus had a goat. And I wish I would have found the name of Santa Claus in Finnish, because I wanted to hear Jared pronounce it. But it was kind of like Krampus, where they had the Santa and his goat.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I had read that they actually like did visual presentations of him wearing goat horns.
I didn't find that. Well, we're gonna have to compare notes.
He dressed up in goat face.
Stay tuned. Yeah, he wore goat face.
Because Krampus is German.
It's real edgy for the time.
Krampus for sure is German. I don't know if it's a discombobulation of where, if that's not the right term to use, but regardless, if they were stealing from one another.
This is an episode of digressions because I just want to say I have a friend from Austria who is actually deathly afraid of Krampus because when she was little, before she moved to the States, like Krampus, people would dress up as Krampus and on Krampus knock or whatever they called it would like come to people's houses and like bang on their windows and their doors and shit. And it was like really intense for her as a 4-year-old. She
That's
was like,
terrifying.
yeah, it's because I was telling her about the movie Krampus. She's like, I will never watch that. She's legitimately afraid of Krampus because
Oh,
of
poor
the.
girl.
Anyway, let's get back to
the movie. How bad do you think it smelled in the Jack Frost rubber suit?
Well, considering it looked like it was 80 degrees outside when they were filming it, probably pretty bad.
Well, I guess that depends. Was Scott McDonald actually in the Jack Frost rubber suit?
Oh, I don't know
No,
that.
there's no fucking
There's no way.
The
I mean,
thing was
he
not.
put on all the silly Star Trek makeup. You don't think he'd wear the unmovable Jack Frost
There'd be no
costume?
reason to have someone in it because it was immobile. But
We're gonna need to find that out.
next game maybe. What
Yeah.
did
Who was Jack
who's-
Frost when?
I took it upon myself during this viewing to count all the snowmen decorations
Mm-hmm.
in this movie because this goes to my theory of I think Snowminton might be a cult of people who worship snowmen, and Jack Frost was actually the answer to their summoning him for this accident to take place on the road when this transpo vehicle collided perfectly with this chemical truck and created their god of a snowman to come and save them from, whatever their eldritch god would do in Snowminton. Because if you look and you pay attention to, as Josh called it, the haberdashery,
Uh-huh.
the sheriff's office, whatever interior spaces you could see, as far as I could tell, there's not one Santa, there's not one candy cane. Like, okay, you guys have decorated your houses for Christmas. How many snowmen you got? How many snowmen do you have in your house? Ballpark it.
I'm
There's
actually
one looking at
staring.
me.
Yeah,
I maybe have 3.
Does this count? I'm gonna put it up to the camera. This is a snowman made out of ice cubes.
Yeah, I'll count that. But
Look,
do you
I
have more
about 8 snowmen in eyesight right now.
than you're a fucking psychopath? Who has I can think of maybe 3 or 4. But okay, let's say you've got that many. I took account in the house of the people were the parents of the bully.
Yeah.
20 snowmen that I could in eyesight. 20 snowmen on the Christmas tree, in the walls, on the like coffee cup. In the sheriff's office, 11 snowmen. In the sheriff's house, where you only see the kitchen and his bathroom, 7 snowmen. The town hall, 4 snowmen. So I didn't add all that up, but anyway, my thing is, this is a Christmas decorations. They have no Santas, they have no candy canes, everyone just has snowmen. The town is Snowminton. They summoned this being. They summoned this being. And
there are different. There's an elf and Santa and candy cane
I did not see this.
At the beginning, in the credits.
Yeah, during the credits. I'm not counting that. But and here's my thing. The last thing I'll say on this. There's a scene where towards the end where they blow up they open up all the
community center. That's the prison. Yeah, the jail.
They blow it up and it's on fire. And then the next scene, they're all running into the sheriff's office. There's one guy who comes walking out of I don't know if you guys noticed this. He comes walking out of where they're all running into, and he has a stick with a
with the
marshmallow,
marshmallows.
and he's just patiently walking towards where they just blew up the snowman.
Yeah.
He's part of the cultist of snow.
That guy, that's not the only scene that guy is in.
I know.
No, there's a couple of scenes
He's-
with 2 or 3 guys,
Those
like
are the cultists.
Jaws style, where you're
Mhm.
like, what is that guy's deal?
Those are the
Okay,
cultists
so
that
you're
summoned the
suggesting
snowman.
that there's like an Innsmouth thing going on in
That's
Snowminton.
how I want to continue to watch this movie.
Definitely
You're
now.
giving it far too much credit.
I think we're gonna look out for it. The only thing I got out of this viewing are 2 things. One, I would love to party with Marla. She seems like a real good time.
Yes.
And 2,
Marla's the one that I thought was Marcy Darcy
yeah.
until my third viewing of this movie.
And my second thing is about the cover art. Whoever came up with the cover art for Jack Frost really oversold the movie and is the reason why people actually rented the fucker, because if you put the regular Jack Frost face on your horror movie cover, you never would have picked it up, because it looks exactly like the Michael Keaton.
That's
Didn't
Jack
have one of those
Frost.
holographic covers when it
Of
first came
course.
out?
Yeah.
it did, and that I will get into that maybe when we come back on the other side of this break.
All right.
Where
Fucking Jack.
since we
Oh.
spent all the time playing a game and not talking about Jack Frost.
I gotta go to my bathroom that's decorated in snowman motif. I'll be back.
I'm worried about you, man. That's a lot of snowmen to have in your fucking house.
Like, my girlfriend likes snowmen.
We'll be
She's a
back.
cultist.
Let's find her some step-ins with snowmen.
Soul is a chemical.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello. Welcome back.
I tried to this time. I noticed in the scene where
Smoke a lot of drugs and come up with some weird shit, it sounds like.
well, I'm not gonna tell you how my Wednesday night went, but it ain't far from it. The bully kid, I think his name's Brian or Ryan, when he gets decapitated, the scene before that, he decapitated the snowman
Yes.
that the sheriff's kid builds.
Yes.
So I saw that and I was like, oh, is this gonna like is somehow Jack Frost's kills going to be, poetic justice to what was done to him? And it wasn't. That's all. I was really
He was
really
really
hoping.
raped by Shannon Elizabeth.
No, I was really hoping
Okay.
in a second viewing. I was like, oh, this could actually be kind of cool if it was like retribution on.
Think about
But-
how much we talked about that scene with Shannon Elizabeth.
I didn't think a whole lot about anything when I watched it.
Let's talk about Shannon Elizabeth for a second.
Yeah,
So this was her first movie,
first, yeah, it was our debut.
and then I don't know how many movies came between this and American Pie, but probably not a whole
Not
lot.
many, probably.
But that was like her big breakthrough role.
Hmm.
And then the only other movie I remember her being in was 13 Ghosts with
Yeah, she was in that. She was
with
in
Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Lillard. She was in.
Who's having a renaissance?
he's-
Willard's
yeah.
having a renaissance.
Yeah, the Lillardessence.
So
Uh,
this poor girl.
She was in James Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, that's
And
right.
Don't
and
forget,
and subsequent.
don't forget, favorite of the podcast, Scary Movie.
Yeah,
So, I'm
she's
just-
fucking awesome in Scary Movie.
She is awesome. A scary movie. I guess my question is like, do you think she was like completely cool and okay with this? Like,
I mean,
she goes from getting bathtub raped by a snowman dick.
I
carrot,
can
and
only
then, and then her follow-up movie, she's played a foreign exchange student poorly who has to show her boobies and like, I mean, I guess If that's what she wanted to do, more power to her. If I can't help but feel bad for the way her career started.
So they filmed this in 93 and in 94, I believe.
Holy shit! It was
And
on
then
the shelf.
it was on the shelf for financial reasons and finally got released and finished
No.
for 97, according to Wikipedia, I believe. But the worst thing about poor Shannon Elizabeth and this movie in American Pie is there is a note on IMDb that was like features Shannon Elizabeth's first nude scene. These were her original breasts, and she got a breast augmentation for American Pie. And I was like, that's what a terrible thing to put on the internet. Like, again,
Yeah.
okay, fine, you got a breast augmentation, that's fine, but for, like, you think back to Body Bags with Mark Hamill and that little suit that he had on, G-string that was flesh colored, and it would be like, all right, I put that out there, I knew what I was doing, but then for someone to comment on it on the internet like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, let me give you some trivia about Jack Frost, those are her original breasts. It's like,
Yeah.
you didn't need to really have that out there. Doesn't really
Doing her
woman.
dirty. I think she's gorgeous. She's done some good work, and I think I'd like to see her come back. Apparently, she's really into poker, like the poker tour, all that. She was part of the poker boom.
She was in Home for the Holidays, which looks to me like a Hallmark movie.
I'm sure she's in a lot of Hallmark movies.
Where
I hope she's doing well.
She
deserves it.
starred.
Yeah, after a start like she had, I hope that she's doing well and she's happy, and she's only showing her breasts to the ones who really deserve to see them.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah, she's been in
I
a
don't
lot
even
of like
remember that.
I think she's a mainstay of Kevin Smith movies.
Does that mean she smokes the weed?
She was in American Reunion in 2012.
Her and Eugene
Yeah,
Levy?
she's getting work. I'm sure she's doing all right.
Oh yeah, she's got points on here. She's got
Good.
bullet points, so good for
Good.
her.
I'm glad to see that.
Her first one on here is Arliss.
Oh,
Oh boy, predates Jack Frost.
Well, no, chronologically no, but air date yes.
Yeah, released.
I want to know what she did in Arliss.
Her character's name was Anya Slovacek.
Which means she
Anya
probably either got
Tits.
fucked or showed her tits.
Since it was an HBO show, I'm sure breasts were involved.
I liked when they were sneaking into or breaking into the sheriff's house, and the boyfriend was like, "I don't know if we should do this." And the way she coaxed him in was, "quote You want to have fun, don't you? Or do you want me to sit around and get morbid?"
Yeah, since her brother just died 5 hours before.
And her, well, she didn't even realize her parents died by that point, I guess.
No, not yet.
She just wanted to break into this guy's house, get me his wine, make me a bath, put on a fire, or I will get morbid.
So you were so focused on this
Holy
viewing.
shit. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Jack Frost murdered that whole family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a single one of
No.
Jesus. Did he kill anybody else? Or just that family?
Yeah, he kills the old man, whose name I can't remember.
That might
that was he froze to death in his rocking chair outside.
I think that was it. Then the next one was the kid getting decapitated.
And then he kills at least one deputy. Backs him over with the car.
Oh, I don't remember the car backing over.
Oh, yeah. He drives a car?
Yes.
What? Yes. No, he doesn't.
Yes, he is. There's a scene where he is the snowman in the middle of the road. The sheriff's deputy stops, slams on the brakes. He gets out. He turns into a pool of water. The deputy's like, "Well, yeah, I've heard of that. Thermal drafts, uplifts. Yeah, sure. I'll buy that." Then he gets back in the car, and for some reason, like, he decides to get into the trunk, I guess,
Oh.
to put like a yield sign up or something, or not a yield sign, but a caution sign instead of just,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then suddenly the snowman Jack Frost is in the driver's seat, which how does it work? I guess maybe his giant carrot is now on the accelerator and backs
He's
him
an el-
over.
He's an elder god. I have now seen this movie 2.5 times in the last 3 weeks of my life, thanks to you, Aaron.
Yeah.
And I do not remember that scene at all.
I do now.
And I
And
was
I did-
laser fucking focused
I
this
did
time.
finally hear the mumbling in that beginning scene
Didn't
where
hear
it
that.
looks like Carlos Santana is taking notes from the driver.
Carlos Santana.
Yes.
He's got the Santana leather hat on and everything.
He looks like anything but a police officer.
And Snowminton.
Snowminton.
He's
And he goes, "This is my approximation."
yeah. But which actually
He's summoning him.
that's what actually I was going to say that leads to Jared's theory about maybe he's a cultist speaking eldritch gibberish.
He
Maybe.
starts he starts the incantation that
Because-
summons.
To bring it back to the Innsmouth story that Lovecraft wrote, they all like had their gibberish that like
Yep.
Yeah.
that they spoke.
Kriata Boran,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of fish people, these are snow people.
Snowmans. They're snowmans.
Snowmans.
If
Any-
Innsmouth,
anything
Snowman's
anything to make this next viewing of this movie watchable.
Oh, so you think we are going to watch this instead of Christmas Evil? Huh?
Colin,
Well, let's-
Colin is shot.
Let's talk about it. Do you guys
He's
have
underestimating
anything-
how much me and Aaron liked this second viewing.
do you
Let's-
have anything else you want to discuss about this movie? Because I sure fucking don't.
I do, but I'm
Yeah.
going to save it just in case we decide to watch it for a third time. Jared 3.5 times.
Decide is such a bad way to put it.
Well, we do vote, so it is a decision.
But you have to be true.
Are we doing this? Are we? Has it come to
Yeah.
this?
I
As
guess-
Max once said, you have to play the game.
It doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Win, lose. What's the difference? Play the heart. Play the game with a fair heart.
You have to
All
play the
right,
game with a
yourself
fair
in mirror.
heart.
Do we want to do final
Play.
thoughts on both movies, or are we just gonna
I think we
get
do.
right? Step into our
I think it's.
step-ins.
I think we gotta step in and do a 1, 2, 3, and then you
No,
know.
I need to say something about
Well, we'll
one
get
more
to-
thing. Okay.
Yeah, no, because okay, yeah.
All
Say,
right.
Go ahead.
say-
Go.
About
No,
Jack
no.
Frost or
Please. No,
or Christmas Evil?
Chris is evil.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can we can go ahead.
well,
you
we'll do
gonna-
our.
You
we'll
want to
do
apologize for children all over the earth
naughty or
and your
nice.
hatred of them?
No.
Okay.
So we'll do. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Say our choices and then give our reasons why. Or-
I always like to give closing arguments. I think that's better than do 1, 2, 3 shoot.
Okay, that's fine. So go ahead. Start.
Okay, wait. No, wait. How's this work?
Okay. We're going to go around the table and I'm going to say a couple things about both movies. And then I'll say, Josh, what are your thoughts? And then you'll say your couple thoughts. Then it goes to Jared. He'll say his couple thoughts. And then he goes, all right, guys, that's their final word on these two movies. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3 shoot. And do we have to describe which one we're going to say, which is the loser for the week?
The
Yep.
loser.
Eats
The
the buckle.
loser.
The
Is the
worst
one-
movie.
Yeah. So
That's the worst one that we'll watch next week.
so just
again.
go around and give your final summations of each movie, but not your pick.
Okay.
We'll
I'll
start
go
with
ahead
you.
and start.
Yep.
I'll set the example.
Yep.
Christmas Evil, I love to death. Again, almost like Rare Exports, it doesn't deserve to be on this podcast. If you have never seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice to cinematic history with the last 90 seconds of that movie.
And shit.
It's a little long. You could definitely edit this movie down to a tight hour.
90 seconds?
And you could still get the general idea across. But just like Taxi Driver, we meander around. just like Deer Hunter will meander around.
And like this
Because-
episode.
Yes, and like this episode, which will probably be one of our longest, sometimes you just got to go to that cinematic cul-de-sac and do burnouts. So, Jack Frost, we're starting to come around like Madman, but you have a big poofy shoe to fill or foot to fill before you're as beloved as Madman.
Only
Josh?
one big poofy shoe to fill.
Josh, what are your thoughts?
Too many kids.
I don't agree that Christmas Evil is a movie that everybody needs to see. I can't say I hated the movie. I didn't, but I didn't really like it either. It's something to behold if you ever want to watch it, but I probably could have gone the rest of my life without seeing it. So yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. If it was on TV and I was really bored, I might watch it again, but I'm definitely never going to seek it out. It's a pretty bleak movie. And it just kind of, as Aaron said, meanders, and I don't feel it really refines its voice or its pace or its the story that it's trying to tell. The last few moments of the film are certainly memorable. I just don't know that you really need to go on that journey to get there. And
Unfortunately for you, Jared and I both got you a 4K of it coming tomorrow.
from France.
Well, his is from France and mine is from North Carolina.
Oh, I'm such a big dumb.
I hate you both. What
What about your boy Scotty McDonald?
Yeah.
I hate Jack Frost. It's a shitty movie. There's nothing redeemable about this fucking movie. It's a piece of garbage. I really, that's all I have to say about it. And poor Miss Shannon Elizabeth. I'm glad she's doing well. And I hate that her career started with such an awful piece of shit.
Don't talk about Arliss that way.
Arliss. For me, Christmas Evil was kind of a roller coaster because as I was reading about it, I was pumped hearing it was a video nasty. So I was really excited for that. As I was watching it, I was into it at first. As it went on, it was a slog. Didn't really enjoy it, but actually talking about it tonight made me like it even more and realizing what I did enjoy about it. Jack Frost has been an interesting journey as well, and that I kind of have made up ways to enjoy it in my head, like disassociating. But I do know which one I'll pick. It's close for me, but I know who's eating the buckle. And I guess we should announce that now by counting down. So we're going to say which one is the worst of the two
that we will be forced to watch.
that we will be watching again.
Another week.
3, 2, 1.
Jack
Jack
Frost.
Frost. Yes.
Unanimous Jack Frost. I actually didn't know about that one, you guys. I actually came into it tonight thinking I was going to pick Christmas Evil, but the more we talked about it, I was like, yeah, it actually was pretty good. I really liked it.
I think
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I think it does us a disservice just calling it a horror movie. Because
It's
Yeah,
definitely
it's not. It's not. And I mean, it was just a gritty, grimy 80s, I don't know, character study of a creep.
Can
A
you
Santa costume.
see? I almost said that. I almost said character study, but I'm like, but is it really a character study if the character you're studying is so far removed from anything that would actually exist in reality?
there are people like Harry out there.
Oh, 100%. Really
I-
fucked me up. Guys, what are we gonna watch next week? You want to find out
Yes.
Please.
who's joining Jack Frost for round 3 of the
Who's
show?
he's getting in the
Hoedown?
ring with Jack Frost, who just can't
Well,
seem to find his way out.
he's
that
he's all forms of matter. It's kind of hard.
Yeah,
Get rid of
despite the
him.
fact he could turn into a liquid and just ooze out of the ring, he can't get his way out of there.
Well, hopefully he will find a way to beat elves.
Oh
Hmm.
no.
Elves will be the next movie.
Oh
So, folks,
no.
put that in your Santa's pipe and smoke it, and leave room for next week because we're gonna eat the buckle.
All right, buckle buddies. See you next time.
All right. Pray for us, please.
Hey, Larry, what'd you wish for today?
I wished I was super magic.
I wished I was principal so as I could throw whoever I wanted out of school. And I wish I was a firefighter, dive bomber, and thinking project. Boom!
Great, great.
I wish I had a lifetime subscription to Penthouse magazine.
Oscar Garcia.